For our next interviewee, I'm pleased to welcome Efrat Stern, Director of Joint Israel Unlimited and Mental Health and Resilience. Efrat, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
So we all hear about the mental health impacts of the citizens of Israel South who were directly targeted in their own homes, as well as, of course, the hostages. But what is the collective mental health impact of the war on Israel's general society?
So first of all, I want to separate between mental health and mental well-being. When we're talking about mental health, we're talking about people with mental health disabilities. And we're talking here about mental well-being and resilience. And I'll demonstrate what I mean. A few weeks ago, I entered a room full of professionals from the mental health field, and I asked them if I can ask them a few questions. So they, of course, said it's okay. And I asked them, just few questions. Please, whoever here and cannot sleep a whole night, please raise your hand. So some of people raised their hand. And then I asked them who gained or lost a lot of weight in the last year. So some of them raised their hand. Who has, children in the army or with mental health needs? And some of them raised their hand. After 5 questions, everyone there raised their hand. And there are people that are functioning, they're going to work, they have families, everything is okay. But if they all raise their hand, it means that when we're talking about the mental well-being situation in Israel, it's about every one of us. It's about me, it's about my family, it's about my society. And it's a really broad thing here in Israel. We never had this kind of thing, such a long war, such a mental needs for a very, very long time. And I can give you a little bit statistics. We're talking about 55% of the children that in every minute they feel stress. It means that when you are entering a classroom, 55% of the people there, of the children, they cannot learn how to read or write because they're very, very troubled with other things. 42% of the people in Israel, of the adults, cannot sleep a whole night. 40% of the parents feel anxiety. So it's really every one of us. And maybe another very...
Because also the statistics in general worldwide have shown that stress levels are up worldwide. That's not even specifically in a country, ravaged by war. So that's on top of what's already existing as a steep climb.
You're very right. And I have to say that in Israel, we started to look very deeply at this subject during the COVID pandemic, because we understood that the mental health pandemic will be the next one. But then we still talked about mental health. Now we're talking about mental well-being. It's every one of us. And one very important thing that I also want to add is that 65% of the Israeli population that feel anxiety or stress or even severe stress, they do not recognize themselves as people that need help because they never reached out for help on these subjects. So it means that our responsibility as a society and as professionals are to reach out for people and offer them help, because otherwise the consequences will be very, very hard for everyone. For our society and from each of us.
Absolutely. So what kind of resources, if we're getting into the nitty-gritty of things, were not available before October 7th, but have been made available by the Joint now, and which are still, in the works in the process?
So, before October 7, the mental health system in Israel was very, very poor or needed resources. There were good professionals, but it still needed resources. And when I'm talking even after October 7, 80% of the budget of the Israeli government budget is going to clinical solutions, but which of course is very, very important. And there are people that need clinical solutions, but most of the population do not need clinical solutions. I can enjoy also solutions, interventions in the community, tech solutions, group solutions. There are all kinds of interventions that we can use. And when we went to the world to see what kinds of solutions are there, so there was solutions from all the solutions which I just mentioned. When the war started, we understood that there a lot of people that need clinical solutions that were in the Gaza envelope in October 7, but there are about 9 million other people in Israel that need also solutions, but different ones. So I can give you examples of solutions that we understand that they can be scaled up really quickly, and they're very good, like tech solutions. We started to work with the platform of Kai, which is like a person on your phone, and it can ask you proactively, did you meet a friend today? Did you went to a walk today? And if the platform can see that you have some kind of stress, so a professional can reach out to you and offer you help. We're working with Kai in the Ben Gurion University, in Reichman University. We're also starting to work in Maccabi and in the education system, and we see very, very good results. So this is one example. I can also tell you about another intervention or program that we work in different municipalities in Israel. We're developing it with the Tel Aviv-Yafo College. And we understand that there are a lot of people that meet people every day due to their work, due to their jobs, like community police officers, like people that work in the National Insurance Institute. And we train them to understand what does it mean to feel stress, how they can recognize stress in themselves, and what kind of help they can offer people with the stress and where they can go. We're also working with a tech platform. The name is Dugri, which is creating communities, peer-to-peer communities. So we are working with soldiers on the Amit platform, and a lot of soldiers do use it and feel very comfortable in having some conversation with people that have the same experience as they have.
That's so interesting, and including something from Israel's thriving, high-tech sector into something that's also creating real-time, almost med tech solutions is so innovative and such a great way of approaching things. We know that the entire state of Israel is experiencing what you said, like a kind of mental well-being issue or psychological trauma, even at different intensities. Are there unique characteristics to residents of the North in particular, and are you working to address these characteristics in particular?
So I think that it is very important to understand, as I said before, that we're talking about the whole population of Israel. But when we're talking about the North, there are specific criteria, or not criteria, specific things that I can say about this population. I think that people that were a lot of weeks out from their homes, there are a lot of people they want to go back to their homes, but they're not, not all the schools are working, not all the workplaces are working, not all the things that can give services for people are working. And also a lot of people are very afraid to go back to the North, not just because of the bombs, but which we don't have now, but also because the feeling of personal security is very, very low. So I think that when I'm talking about the whole population of Israel in the North, it is even worse. So when I say this, I think that a lot of our interventions, we will bring more of it to the North. Like when I talked about of training people that work with people or see people. So we will enter a lot of other communities in the North. We will develop communities peer-to-peer for people in the North by their special things or needs that they have. We want to start to work with the municipalities. We understand that the municipalities are the best ones that know the people that live there and understand their needs. So we're starting a few programs with the municipalities to help them to build their capacity and to bring all kinds of solutions for the citizens that live there.
It's so important. And I just want to say also, I want to take this opportunity to any of our listeners who are encountering even like the littlest bit of like well-being drop. Like these are the resources that are out there for you, and recognize that, and that, there's no shame in asking for help. And I think resources like the kind provided by the Joint are just phenomenal and something that need to be utilized there for you. So that's my little message out for there. But I do want to go back for one more question. What are the biggest obstacles that the Joint is facing in order to provide citizens of Israel's North, as well as all of Israel? Because, like you said, it's all encompassing with the resources needed. How are you tackling these different challenges?
So when, after October 7, it was very, very obvious that the population need a lot of interventions, a lot of solutions that will fit every one of us. But this is not enough. We can have a lot of things that we can offer the population, but not all of us knows what is out there, how we can be sure that there are quality enough solutions, that they are very good for us. And we know that in the mental health field, if you use an intervention that is not good enough, it can harm you. So this is the first obstacle. I'm talking about from a research that has been done in England, only 30% of the interventions were quality enough for solutions in the mental health field. So we are working on a seal of quality, and we want to implement it in the field and in the government to be sure that all of the solutions that we offer are good enough, and not that just the solutions that we offer, but the solutions in the field are quality enough. Also, I think that it is very important to find a way that people can know what solutions are there and be sure that they're good. So we developed a tech platform. The name is Nafshi. You can enter it. It's nafshi.info. And there are over 400 interventions there that are all vetted. We know that they're all good. And it is very, very personalized. You can go in there. I can say, I live in the Sharon, I'm 49, and I want interventions on how to talk to my children about the war. So it will give me only the specific interventions that are good for me. So this is a very unique platform. We had almost 200,000 people that used this platform until now.
Wow.
Yeah. I also think that we need more data to be gathered so we can have decision makers have decisions or make decisions and understand which intervention they should make, where they should make which interventions on each issues, and how much money they need to invest in such interventions. And maybe
I hope that data asks the correct questions. We've seen issues in the past where the data that's coming from statistical analyses is somewhat lacking in the questions that we really need to face.
I agree. And I think that this is the reason that one thing that we're also doing is trying to have a communal conversation with all the stakeholders, and there's a lot of stakeholders in the field, and to discuss together what are the main measures, how we can measure best resilience. What is resilience? What is mental well-being? So we can have like a one way for all of us to understand where we're going so we can make a good impact. And maybe that brings me to another thing, a very important thing, that I think that the place that the Joint is in between the government and the citizens and third organizations, society organizations, civil organizations, it's a point when we can hear all the voices around the table. So we can bring all of them together and we can make change while all of us sit together in the same room, and to create the continuum of services, the continuum of the subjects that we should address.
Absolutely, with the unique perspective that you provide. Efrat Stern, Director of Joint Israel Unlimited and Mental Health and Resilience, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.